Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. Oh my, I'm excited. I've been talking about mystery bags. I pulled the winner for one of the mystery bags, or for the Aberdeen Wool mystery yarn. Aberdeen Wool $25 gift card. I pulled the winner for that, so make sure you check that video out. It's only a couple minutes long, but I was playing with the yarn that I received in my Aberdeen Wool's mystery bag. And I got, where is it? I got a mess. I know that. What did I do with it? That's not the right one. This is it. Okay. So in this one, which was this yeah, this is my knit bag. I guess the green ones and what I got were knit, and the purple ones, I got more, and what I got were crochet bags. The only difference on their stuff is in their mystery bags, because they're gorgeous yarns. I mean, come on, it's gorgeous yarn. Is they put patterns in there, and the crochet ones have crochet patterns, and the knit ones have knit patterns. And I got all this really pretty yarn. I don't know where my bulky yarn is. I don't know, but I got this bulky yarn in my knit bag, and well, let's face it, bulky's not my favorite. We know that, but that's okay because it's beautiful yarn. And I decided I was going to use some of it because it was gorgeous. And let's see, what did I do with my pattern? Man, I'm all kinds of discombobulated, but that's okay. Look at this. Look at that little hat pattern. Isn't that adorable? That thing right there, it's calling to me. It's called Poppy. I should link that. No. So I got this. Isn't that cute? It's got some seed stitch in there. It's got some ear flaps, I-cord. I mean, yes, please. And this is made with Barocco Wizard, which is a bulky yarn. I don't have my ball band right here because I took it off, but look at that yarn. Isn't that stunning? So they call this a number 5 bulky. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger, but it's that chain spun fluffy. And for me, it's not a scary bulky. And by that, I mean really, really big, right? And the pattern, now the ball band, I remember, and yeah, it's downstairs because that's where I started working on the project. Yeah, I'm making the hat. I turned it into a kit. Okay, they turned it into a kit. I'm actually following the kit. All right, there we have it. So on this, the yarn ball band says like 10s, 10.5s to get, you know, the 4-inch square, what have you, the gauge swatch, because that's going to make a gorgeous drapey fabric for a garment, I think anyway. I think that would be absolutely stunning. And the pattern from Barocco says use size 8s. Hello, I have size 8s. And this is a chain spun, and it's not, like I said, it's not a huge, big, bulky, scary looking bulky yarn, because that's not my favorite. I had to make it. I did. I know it's starting to get warm. Well, we're having like fake spring here in Colorado, where you have really, really warm days, then you got a snowstorm, and then you have really, really warm days, and you got another snowstorm. So it's fake spring. So we have that. We'll get snow all the way up to like Mother's Day, stuff like that. Snowstorm Mother's Day, and it melts, you know, so it's back and forth. So yeah, don't let it fool you, right? It's fake spring. But look at that. I have to make it. It is so pretty. So I started it. Oh my gosh. Absolutely in love. Look how bulky that is. That is such a big, huge ball of yarn. I mean, it's the size of my head. It's a big ball of yarn. And I don't know how much I need for this. You know, obviously the pattern says 1 ball since you don't get to buy a half a ball. But I'm really curious. Am I going to have enough to make 2 of these? Maybe. I don't know. So I'm making the largest size. We know I didn't gauge swatch. Why? I'll give it to somebody whose head it'll fit. I mean, I don't need to do a gauge swatch. You just make it. It's fine. It'd be fine. No, this is why I have issues with certain things. It's okay. So on this, I have it in my size 8s. I did use size 7s for a short period of time because it does say use smaller needles for the I-cord. So you start this with the I-cord. I got my little I-cord, and I'll put tassels on it like it shows, right? So this is just this, you know, there's no sense cutting off my ends. I can just weave that or have that as part of the tassel. And then you take from your I-cord and you increase up for this triangle piece. Yeah. And you cut your yarn and you make another triangle piece. Look at that. And then you start going around all of it. You pick up, you add some stitches here, cast on stitches there. Then you cast on some stitches right here in the front. See? You got your front stitches, you have your back stitches, you got those cast on, and then look at this detailing right here. It's got seed stitches, and the seed stitch is like that. Okay, so it does do that arch, right? That pointy arch. Messed it up first time. I messed up one of the rows because I was watching TV. That's okay, I ripped it out. So I'm working on that right now. I put the pattern over here. But I'm working on that. I've got that nice detailing. And let me get this to where I don't pull it out. Although, you know, I've got lace and stuff like that. I mean, this, I don't mind. If I pull the needles out of this, I can pick those stitches up easy. That lace, whoo, that's another story. But look. You can even see, so I've got some of those hills and valleys. I'm on the top, the last row of the peak. Yeah, the peak part. Yeah, of that seed stitch. That is so pretty. This yarn is working out beautifully. It's soft. It's lofty. I don't know. I can't tell if it's going to fit or not because I've got it on those little needles. But isn't that pretty? It's going to be gorgeous. I mean, yeah, there we go. You know, it's going to be so pretty. And I like how the pattern has, yeah, I really don't know. I haven't tried it on other than just that. I like how you've got the smaller amount in the back since, you know, you've got your, you know, you don't need it as much and you just got the little ear flaps right here. And then of course you don't need it. It doesn't need to be a even stitches for the back, even stitches for the front, and then straight on the ear because that's going to lay funny. So that just helps to make it, I don't think ergonomically is the right answer, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. So it does have some nice little touches like that. What I don't like, and it's a me thing, is where I did my stitches here and after I cast on and everything, I did like a cable cast on for the stitches. It doesn't say to do it that way. I did. I thought I was being fancy. Yeah, whatever. So I ended up with this little hole right here, you know, where it just not quite nice and neat. So I've been messing with it and making it worse. Yeah, I've been messing with it. So what I'm trying to do is to pull the thread right here. And I did that. Okay, I did that after the fact. It was not that way to begin with. But like picking a scab, I haven't left it alone. But what I'm trying to do is pull that into the rest of the fabric to where it kind of tightens up a little bit. It disperses that tension, you know, so I don't have that loop right there. I'm going to disperse it along the way, wherever that stitch goes. So I haven't messed with it and I'm making it worse. So if it is worse and I continue to do that because you know, like a scab, I'm just not leaving it alone. I can take a needle and thread and sew that down because I did it. The pattern wasn't messy. I messed it up and I don't want to pull it back to that point to fix it. So I can do that with the sewing thread. I can do that with a piece of the yarn, you know, in the same color or similar color and everything, and kind of stitch that down, tack that down a little bit more and everything to where it doesn't annoy me. Because right now it annoys me because I just made a big hole out of it. I did it. I did. It wasn't like that. It wasn't that big. It was just barely noticed. It was just a little bit. And I messed with it. Yeah, I messed with it. Do you do that on your stuff? Is it just me that says, oh yeah, I can make that better? And you just, yeah. Yeah, I did it. So I'm really happy with this. I'm really quite pleased because I'm doing something. Like I said, this pattern came in my kit because that's how Aberdeen Wools goes ahead and they do their stuff. Where'd my little bag go? So I had in there 3 patterns, right? Because I had 3 skeins of yarn. Where'd my bulky yarn go? There it is. So here's my other bulky yarn that I got. There's some kits and stuff. Everything's falling on me. So I got that, and this calls for the wizard yarn, and I got a skein of the wizard yarn. Hello, can we get any better for a kit? The only thing that you don't have is your needles, but I have my needles, and it's not advertised like that. It's a mystery bag. But how cool is that? They curate these mystery bags to where you have them, if you choose to, as an actual kit. My other 2 things that I had in here, I've got this bulky yarn, beautiful. Like I said, I'm not mad. Even the bulky I got, I'm happy with. So that bulky yarn, they say, or they give you the pattern. You can do whatever you want to with it. You don't have to use it as a kit. This is the first time I think out of all the patterns where I'm like, I'm making that and I turned it into a kit. So if I chose to use this for what they sent, here's the cute little hat pattern for that yarn. How cool is that? You know, just very simple. And I would guess, not positive, that you might be able to get 2 hats with this. But then again, I'm not used to working with bulky yarn. And wait a minute, how many yards is this? 131, so maybe not. I don't know. Bulky confuses me. I don't know how far it goes. It just does, because I don't use it as much. I use the smaller yarns, and I get that. Because, you know, you have even worsted weight yarn, you're getting like 200, 220. You know, that's why Cascade 220 has the name Cascade 220, is it's a worsted weight with 220 yards, if you didn't know that. You know, so I'm understanding, and I kind of gauge everything similar to that, because that's when I first started learning about how much yardage was in a particular weight. So, you know, I'm used to, oh, 200 yards. Yeah, I can get a couple hats out of that. Not maybe huge hats, but I can. And then when you say, well, this is 131 yards, is that just one hat? Probably. I don't know. I don't know, but it's a full skein. It's beautiful. That color is stunning. So, I mean, I have that kit, and then I've got another sock pattern, right? And I got some sock yarn, which I would probably, I don't know if I would use socks for that particular yarn. It's gorgeous, but it is so much fun. If you've never purchased one of their mystery bags and you just have that hankering to do so, I don't think you'll be disappointed. But then again, if you don't like Barocco yarns and that's not your style, you probably would be disappointed, because the majority of the yarns I've seen, and that's not to say all of them, that's just the majority that I've seen, and I'm not everybody, is predominantly Barocco yarns. And I've used a lot of their yarns, and I like a lot of their yarns. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna, it doesn't mean I'm gonna like everything. It doesn't mean I like all the different weights. I mean, you know how that goes. I've received fingering weight up to bulky weight, and actually impressed. And it's funny, because when I opened this particular kit, I opened two kits. I opened one that was knit and one that was crochet, because they offer both. And like I said, it's a mystery bag. You're getting mystery yarn and patterns. There you go. And that's why they differentiate those. And it's interesting to me to see what you're getting in each. Now, if you're wanting quantity of yarn, you know, like the amount of yarn balls, I think for what I've personally ordered, I think we've received more yarn, like just physical yarn balls in the crochet bags than the knit bags. And then you can determine what you think of value-wise. Like on these two that I just opened, if you didn't see the one that I opened everything in the mystery bag, I had two of them, the purple bag and the green bag. The green bag was the knit bag, and I had 3 balls of yarn in it, just 3. I say just 3, but I know how much this stuff is. This is the third one, if you didn't see the other one, and that is, they call it a DK weight. I don't think it is. I've worked with this, and I've worked with it and used it as a fingering weight. You know, and that's one that they put for the socks. So I'm like, I don't know. I've never washed it. Here's where'd my hat go? Did I lose it already? I shoved it in the bin. There it is. There it is. So I made this last year, and it's 2 colors stranded. Here we go. Okay. I turn it inside out so you can see the stranding, because we want to see the back side too. So there's the 2 colors that I used, and that's my floats. Right. Yeah, I'm learning. We're all learning. And I got a little carried away, made it a bit longer. It's a big slouchy hat. Love the bees. But that's this yarn. Different colorway, but it's this yarn. I know how much this yarn costs. I bought these 2 full price during a yarn crawl. That's expensive. This was worth the price of the kit by itself, and still a bargain. And then I got the other 2. And Barocco Wizard, that's pricey too. So, you know, it's your call on what you think is a good deal. So that one, I got 2 bulkies, and they say it's a DK. It's not. And if, you know, closer to a fingering weight. If you don't like bulky, you might be disappointed. I'm not a bulky fan. I was not disappointed. It's pretty spectacular. But you might be disappointed going, wait a minute, that's only 3 balls of yarn. If you're not liking these are higher end, higher cost yarns. Like I said, I paid for these 2 full price. This was a deal, right? But if it's not something you're interested in, then yeah, don't do a mystery bag, man. You'll be disappointed. And then this one, as a refresher, this one was stocked full. They couldn't have put any more in there. I mean, I tried to shove it back in. It's not fitting in. And I got physically a lot more yarn. And it just depends on what you're interested in, how much it was. I got the ultra fine right here, and this lovely little minty green. This is a fingering weight. And I got 2 of these. This is the Ultra Alpaca right here. And it's the same as this. They're both the Ultra Alpaca. This is the Ultra Alpaca Chunky, so the bigger weight. And this one is the, I believe it's, yep, this is the worsted weight. I got 2 of these. 2 of these. This stuff is amazing. You know, 2 of those. And then I got 3 of these right here, the Comfort Chunky, to go ahead and make whatever I want to. And I was thinking on this one is doing some sort of a smaller baby blanket for baby Noah. Yeah, that's right. We have a new grandson. He's still not 3.5 pounds. He hasn't gone up to his birth weight yet, but he'll get there. He's just adorable. You know, but I got 3 of these, and this is 50% superfine nylon, 50% acrylic, chunky weight, not so used to that, 150 yards. So 450 yards of this. So physically, balls wise, I got 6 balls of yarn in the crochet bag, right? And then you just have to look at it on which one's more valuable. But the majority of the time, I'll end up with more balls of yarn in the crochet. But that's just me. I'd love to hear about you guys because I've only bought, I don't know how many of them I bought. And, you know, you never know. You don't know who's packing it, who's stuffing the bags, what they're putting in them. Absolutely no clue. It's been such a blast for that. And to turn this one into an actual kit with the knitting is spectacular. I don't remember what my patterns were. Do you remember what I got for patterns wise for the crochet? Let me see. So this is the open fan cowl, and it's Premier Yarns. So this is one of them that I got. I wonder which one that one was for. That's probably for, well, what kind of material? They're saying a bamboo. I'm looking at the weight of material. I think that that one is what they chose for the chunky weight yarn. Using a size K crochet hook. Yep, chunky. Yeah, so that is what they chose for this. And that would be pretty. That really would be pretty. A nice cowl made with this according to their, if you want to turn this into a kit. How cool is that? And then what were the other ones that they sent? Okay, that's pretty. That is a lovely shawl. Pretty sure the intention was for these 2. And this is a gorgeous color right here. That is stunning. That is really pretty. So the other one is crocheted socks. So very nice. So both bags I got socks in them. A crocheted version and a knit version. So that is a lot of fun. But this is my first time turning it into a kit. I mean, it was already a kit, but actually doing something from it. Because, I mean, a lot of times I just want the yarn, right? But I took inspiration from it. That bulky hat with that wizard yarn and those beautiful colors, they just called me. I'm not going to lie. It called me. It had to be done. It was like this. It was just chirping in my ear, and I didn't have to wind it, you know, like this. That shawl is stunning, but I have to wind the yarn. That's not that hard. I have a ball winder. Matter of fact, I have 2. One doesn't work very well. Got it for the grandkids to play with. Actually, I didn't get it for them. It just stopped. The gears got stripped or whatever. So I let them play with that one. And then I have another one sitting next to it. But you know which one they want to wind and play with? Yeah, that's right. They're the same color. They're exactly the same. Doesn't matter. They know. They just know. Yep, they know. So I'm going to have a ball winder. That's not an issue. But the wizard was ready. It was already ready. That's just how it came. I put my hat away. That's just how it came in that nice donut. I stuffed the hat. There we go. It's fine. It's fine. And it was just, yeah. And I had size 8 needles ready and available. I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. And it feels huge in comparison to the lace that I'm working on. So, you know, the juxtaposition of the tiny, tiny lace on size 0s and then working with this on 8s, which is really cool for me too, because even though that's a bulky yarn, I can use the 8s, and I use 8s on worsted weight. So it's not out of my realm and out of my comfort zone. And the colors are stunning. And it's so pretty. And I'm kind of wondering if I've got enough to make 2. I think I might make 2. I might make the second one if there's enough yarn. And I don't know, because we you know, is that halfway? Am I halfway? I don't know. You know, maybe quarter way to halfway, a third. Maybe I'm a third. I'm a third of the way done. I'm not sure. Because, yeah, I got long flaps, right? And then I've got that much of the hat, and then I've got to add more and then do the decreases. So maybe a third. But if I have enough, I'm going to make another one, the smaller size, just to make sure. Because why waste the yarn? It's beautiful yarn. Make another pretty hat. I think I'm going to do that. I have 2 hats, you know, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with them. But whatever, I'll have more hats. I mean, it's not a bad thing to have hats. It's fun stuff. And then, I mean, like I said, that is really nice. That is a very nice crocheted shawl. I like the border that they have on that. And I think that with that, not maroon, what is it? Wine Merlot color. Doesn't have a name on it, does it? Does it? No. It's color 6297, but it is their Wine Merlot type color. And it is just, it's a lot of colors in it. It is just absolutely beautiful. Oh, my little phone says I don't want to talk to you. Whatever, it's fine. So those are my things on that. I think it's time to open another one, but I won't do that today. I do have more of these kits. Wanted to kind of go through some of this. I think it's fun to make the hat, and I'd love to make a lap blanket or something. You know, it's small. It doesn't have to be big because, like I said, the baby right now, Noah's, you know, he's not quite 3.5 pounds. He's just a little guy. And I don't know how far bulky goes. I really don't. It's not a joke. I know I keep commenting. I really don't know. If you have a pattern that you can think of that would be really pretty, 450 yards I've got of this beautiful cream. And I think that would just be a nice little child's blanket. It's been suggested, not stroller, although it could be a stroller blanket. Car seat. Yeah, that's it. The car seat type blanket, or like a little bit bigger than a lovey type blanket. And I've got the guides on the different sizes. I could get one of the small baby blankets, you know, the little, not crib blanket, but one of those tiny ones. You know what I'm talking about. The lovey size, kind of a little bit bigger than that, out of 450 yards, right? Is that okay? I mean, am I delusional? I don't know. Help me out with this. If it was fingering weight, I'd know how much I needed. I know that's crazy, but I would understand how much. It's like, oh yeah, three skeins of fingering weight. Oh yeah, you got plenty. You're good, right? 3 bulky weight, no clue. And I probably have way more than I need, maybe. I guess that depends on knit or crochet. Huge difference. I know that with yardage. But I don't know. Yeah, I rely on you guys for your expertise that use bigger yarns and understand. Lori from the Armchair Chef had suggested that I make either a 6 or a 12-point star blanket, you know, one of the big circle blankets with it. And, you know, you would just run out of yarn when you ran out of yarn. So that would be fine. But I don't know. Other than that, I don't think I've really gotten any suggestions on that, on what your favorite blanket is. Maybe a corner to corner. And you know, I've never done one of those. I have never done a corner to corner blanket. We all have our skills and we all gravitate, and I've never done that one. Isn't that weird? That's weird. I'd have to look it up. I would, because I've not done one. I would have to look it up. You know, everyone tells me they're easy, and I'm sure they are. I just don't know how to do it. I get the concept. Start from here, go to there, right? I get the concept, but yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. We all have skills, and we all learn, and we all see things and pick them up when we pick them up, right? So that is how that goes. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I'm going to go have fun with my hat and maybe look at my lace a little bit more. Yeah, I'm happy with it, but it's slow. And it's beautiful. Maybe look at that a little bit more and hopefully come up with something to do with this. Because the baby's still in the NICU, but he's going to come home, right? And we'll want to have his own blanket, right? So I should probably start that because he's here. He's arrived. He hasn't even hit his due date yet, but he's here, right? He's here. All right, everyone, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be. And I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.